Can't get enough tugging? Go to extratugg.com for exclusive content that YouTube won't let me post, and also a bunch of other cool things. Okay, thank you. School, the place where you go to learn how to read books good. In the United States of America, school is the place where you go and learn all the skills that will stick with you for the rest of your life. Skills such as basic math, knowing what a verb is, and finding out just exactly where you stand in the physical appearance pecking order. It's also where you go and learn how to accomplish 8 hours of work off of 3 hours of sleep. That's a very important skill to learn in America. The weird early hours and the lack of any real-life skills being taught are just a few of the reasons why the education system in America has been noted to be one of the worst out of the most civilized societies. And it's not just the kids. Education sucks for every person involved in the system. Teachers, parents, even the janitors. The American education system is in desperate need of an overhaul. Because from what I've heard, all the same problems that were going on when I was in school still exist, and actually have gotten much worse in a lot of cases. So let's take a gander at what's broken, what needs fixing, and how maybe we could fix it if we're smart enough, I guess. Because it's important to learn from our mistakes, because if we don't, kids can't read. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but like, have you talked to a 6th grade teacher recently? The kids can't read anymore. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, but like, that's a huge issue. The biggest problem with lower education in this country, besides a crippling nicotine addiction plague and, I don't know, the fitness gram pacer test or whatever the fuck that thing is, starts with one thing, and that thing is funding. It's the money. The amount of funding a public school gets depends on the state that it's in, which is good, I guess, if you hate big government. For example, New York spends the most, about $30,000 per student annually. I assume most of that money goes towards big puffer jackets, chopped cheeses, and classes how to teach kids that when someone asks about bagels, you tell them it's the wada. On the other hand, you have something like Utah, which only spends about $10,000 per student. But you know, it's Mormons, you know. Who needs education when you got them gold tablets? But not having enough money to properly educate children is a shockingly big problem for the richest country on earth. Low budgets at public schools make it hard to do several things that make going to school worthwhile. I mean, for one, pretty hard to find quality teachers when you could literally make more money flipping burgers. And plus, when you're flipping burgers, you don't have to deal with children who haven't discovered deodorant yet, and if you do, you just kick them out of the burger store. And also, a lack of funds forces schools to make some tough decisions, like canceling programs and electives. No child should go all through middle school without being forced to go to a Christmas pageant where you watch your friend terribly play the tuba. And God forbid we get rid of non-athletic programs like chess club and theater. I mean, what are the dorks and dweebs gonna do to get dorkier and dweebier? But back to the teachers. That's like the main note I want to hit in this segment. I don't think it's controversial to say that teachers should be getting paid way more than they are getting paid right now. According to Education Week, for teachers in 2023, the lowest average salaries were in West Virginia with $52,000, Florida with $53,000, and South Dakota for $53,000 again, averaging at around $53,000. So it seems there's a stark disparity between payment and actual responsibility. And like, let's all take a second as a unit and really consider what a teacher does for work. They're not just teaching. That's not the only thing teachers do. They don't show up and read a book in front of disinterested children. They have to do a lot of shit. Their job requires them to, one, teach students, obviously. You have to come up with a lesson plan, which, Jesus Christ, that's a very complicated system that I was shocked about when I was reading it. They have to make tests and homework to make sure they're doing their jobs. Then they have to grade and test that homework, which is such a time suck I can't even get my mind around. Have you ever talked to like a 5th grader? Have you ever looked into their brain and realized there's nothing going on? Well, a teacher has to look at paper that they wrote on all day, every day. That would make anyone go insane. They also have to pay for school materials out of their pocket. Like, a teacher has to pay for the arts and crafts shit and like the pens and pencils. Where are my tax dollars going? They also need to attend and plan assemblies for the student body, which that's gonna take you away from doing your job. I don't know why we have assemblies. Assemblies always suck. Sometimes you have to be a coach or a chaperone, which just sounds like wrangling cats to me. And also, last but not least, they are like somehow the enforcer of school rules while also trying to teach, which is ridiculous. Why is a teacher the one who's trying to educate and inspire a generation of children while also like being the one who has to, you know, keep them in line all the time with dumb school rules? And all of this for an average of around like $60,000 a year. A salary that is begging people not to consider this as a career path. If you take all that into account, a teacher should not be making 5-figure salaries. They should be making 8-figure salary. They should be the richest people in town. That and politicians. Hot take. But I think we should be paying politicians like a shit ton of money. That way they don't need to take bribes and lobbyist money, and they can be like genuine people and not worry about making themselves rich. That's probably a bad take, but we should make politicians rich. Anyway, another big issue that the US schools are dealing with is childhood poverty. That's a fun topic we're gonna talk about right now. Child poverty, obviously, is gonna have a huge effect on how a kid performs in school. Children living in poverty are 2 to 3 times more likely to be frequently absent because of a myriad of reasons. And also, I mean, being the poorest kid in a public school is not a great way to boost lifelong self-esteem. Obviously, we shouldn't judge people on what they have and instead the merit of their character, but these are kids we're talking about. Kids are stupid and mean. You go to school wearing the wrong shoes and eating the wrong lunch, you're gonna get verbally crucified at the cafeteria. But at the end of the day, personally, I don't understand why poor people can't figure it out. Stop being poor, you idiot. You dumb idiot. Another issue that is uniquely unique to American school children is all of the dying. A lot of dying happening. I don't know how much I can talk about this. The only reason I'm going to be delicate with my language during this part is because of YouTube guidelines. Otherwise, I'd be talking a lot of harsh shit and bringing up a lot of horrifying statistics about it. But genuinely, just put yourself in the shoes of a modern school kid. How the fuck are you going to pretend to concentrate on what the teacher is saying with the threat of that bullshit happening every day? Active shooter drills, weird kids making off-brand comments. Companies are literally selling bulletproof backpacks. But yeah, make sure you're listening to the lesson. Go ahead and try and pry your eyes away from the opening door in your classroom. And then there's the fact of school lunches. That's a shit show. I'm torn between public school lunches because we used to have super unhealthy school lunches every day, like pizza and chicken nuggets. And I don't know how you're supposed to like be smart with that shit in your body, but it was delicious. And then Mrs. Obama showed up and made things healthier, which is good for like, childhood obesity, but also I don't want broccoli. I don't want broccoli. And also there's the whole matter of paying for school lunches and like school kids are going into lunch debt so they can eat every day. Free school lunches was a weirdly politicized moment in the election cycle in America this year. And I don't want to live out on you kind folks, but like, let the kids eat. Just fucking, how much is that? Like $3 a day for kids? Just give them the fucking food. No kid should be worried about how much debt they are in with their fucking middle school. There's just so much going on with so broken with the middle school and high school system in America. I just don't have time to break down every aspect of it because we need to save time for the next step in this video, which is college. You guys know how I feel about college? Do you have any idea? I don't like it. College is dumb and stupid and is a fucking joke nowadays. And I understand that the people who normally say that are like hacky Republican podcasters that are saying that the woke mind virus is eating your children's brains at college. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that college is generally and genuinely a scam. I've made a whole video about this and I've discussed, it was actually the first video I ever made on this channel, but there were some points I wasn't able to talk about in that video that I want to address now. Higher education used to be a standard milestone on the path of the American dream. It used to basically guarantee you'd be employable even if you majored in like Latin or ceramics. And that's why every child of my generation was told growing up that if we didn't go to college, we would be worthless losers and our lives would amount to nothing. So, seems like a pretty good move to go to college, does it not? But unknown to the boomers and Gen Xers, while they were raising us to be good little college students, the colleges themselves were becoming a bastardized version of what they originally were. For one, tuition prices slowly but surely became completely out of control. The price to go learn about some shit you won't use after you graduate used to be reasonable. You could pay for it with a small loan and a summer job. But the price of tuition has increased, and this is not a joke, by 169% over the last 40 years. I wouldn't say that's a not noticeable number. And meanwhile, income for workers out of college increased only 19% in that same time. So clearly, math's not mathin'. Oh, but Tucker, if the prices are getting higher and higher, that means probably the colleges are giving better and better experiences for their college students, right? Don't be fucking stupid. You know what this is gonna be. Throwing every last dollar at college becomes much harder to justify with bloated amounts of administrative staffers with make-work jobs for people who are basically unemployable anywhere else. If you're in college right now, I suggest you to go to your college office or whatever the administrative area and just look at how many people are sitting around doing literally nothing. And all the excess funds they get because they raise the prices for no fucking reason, they can't just all give themselves better salaries because that would be suspicious and bad. So instead, they just keep building new facilities and sport complexes in order to attract new students and prove that the money is going somewhere worthwhile. And meanwhile, college football teams basically justify the existence of entire universities, and yet the players aren't paid anything for creating millions of dollars in value. And the whole time, the academics are not improving. They're not getting better at teaching you shit. The focus of studies are also all made up. You can graduate being a fucking toe studier, and they'll give anyone a degree for putting in the bare minimum. You can graduate college so easily nowadays, and I know that because I'm me and I did that. This is God's honest truth. I am not joking. Throughout all of college, I did not end up reading one book. I didn't read one goddamn book, and that seems completely incorrect. And yet I got out of college with a degree and a smile. Now, yes, I did graduate with a communications degree, something that is, equivalent to a Kmart coupon, but my God, they knew that. They all know that. They know that they're giving you dog shit when you walk out of there. They don't give a fuck, dude. They just want your your money and they want to put you in incredible debt because they don't give a fuck. And then the older generation has the gall to say, well, you knew the risk going into this. Maybe I did. I was 17. I had no idea about the concept of lifelong, life-changing debt. And you told me I had to do this. You all said we had to do this. Seriously, I really wish I didn't do it. And I know it's not good to tell kids don't go to college, but like, unless you're going to be a fucking doctor or a scientist or a mathematician, don't do it. And even if you do it, there's no guarantee you're gonna have a job anymore. It was a fucking waste of time besides the lifelong friends I made in college, and I could have gotten the same experience by going to summer camp every year. And also, I just want to make a fun little note here. I want to talk directly to the audience. Hello, DePaul University. It's me, Tucker Lindgren. Remember me, your favorite alum from 2019? So listen, I'm already upset with you, okay? Point blank. If I could never see your logo again, I would be thrilled. But the fact that you call me once a month asking for a donation, asking for money from me, go drink some arsenic. And what's worse is, you make foreign exchange students make the calls, something that I'm sure they don't want to do, but they have to in order to be allowed to stick around. You guys fucking suck. Fuck you. Unless you're gonna be, a doctor or a lawyer or something, just don't go to school. It's not worth it anymore. Just go from high school directly into whatever job you want, and you have a better chance of learning way more. So I've exclusively bitched about the US education system, but why is that? It seems like every other developed nation has a better system set up for this type of thing, but is that true? Or are British people just lying on the internet again? Well, let's look at the numbers. US schools, by definition, are being lapped by high academic performances from other countries. For example, if you want to become a mathematician, don't do that shit in America. There are 30 other nations that are doing better than US at teaching high-level math, and they often do it for free. Could you imagine? Free higher education? That's gotta be impossible. But it's not just the higher education segment that's getting our dicks kicked in, because our kids are much stupider than the average tot. We are ranked 19th in the world K through 12 education. 19th! And also, when they did the study, millennials in America are tied for dead last for math and problem solving. We can't do math. I'm Gen Z, but like by a year. I'm pretty close to millennials, so I'm gonna tie myself to the Harry Potter bacon lovers. We cannot do math, guys. We can't. We are terrible as a unit. We're terrible at math. Here's a quick example of how bad me and my generation are at math. I was making a recipe with my roommate, and we were trying to half the recipe because it was too big, so we wanted to only make half of it. And the recipe called for 2/3 of a cup of cheese, right? So we needed to half 2/3 of a cup of cheese. So I'm gonna pose the question to you, and I'm gonna give you, the viewer, a second to try and figure out this math problem. Ready, set, what is 1/2 of 2/3? Okay, do you have your answer? It's 1/3. Obviously, it's 1/3 when you look at, when you just take a second to think about it, but we could not figure that out. We could not get it done. First of all, you can't put fractions into your iPhone calculator, so we were shit out of luck there. But like, obviously, 1/2 of 2/3 is 1/3, that's what it looks like, but I'm sure some of you fucked that up. We were calling our friends, seeing if they were as stupid as us, and no one got the answer right. We called like 5 people. And also in America, the fun fact, our workforce is the most undereducated in the world. A statistical fact, we are acutely the stupidest people. It's not just a meme, guys, it's real. But hey, at least we're good at sports, right team? At least we can catch ball, run far. That'll make sure we maintain global dominance. God damn it, it's so over. It is so jover. After looking at all of this, I pretty much think that the US education system seems, I don't know, almost designed to leave people turned off to learning and sets us up to take mundane and soul-crushing jobs. Oh, fuck. Okay, we can fix this. We can fix all of this. Schools need more resources, so we can give every student the best training to do whatever they need to do. The price of colleges should be slashed since the degrees are worth less. Kids should be warned about money and how much debt you can go into and just what money does, because we are all financially illiterate. And we should focus more on paying teachers so that they give a shit instead of leaving the workforce in droves. And all of that is gonna cost money, which is a shame because we're so poor, guys. America is so poor, obviously. We don't have money to give to the kids. Oh wait, no, that's a joke because we have all of the money. We have all of it. We have more money than God knows what to do with. Yet we can't figure this out. New videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, when I hear 6 times 8, I start to sweat. I don't know my 8s. I forgot my 8 multiplication tables. What happened?